Today, we're going to look at an ancient solution for a very, very modern problem. We're going to dive into a simple rule from a Roman emperor, of all people, that I think cuts right through the noise of modern anxiety.
Think about it for a second. The last time you felt that knot in your stomach, that tightness in your chest, were you actually in immediate physical danger? I'm guessing probably not. The source of our anxiety, you see, it's completely shifted. It's no longer about the lion hiding in the grass. It's about something much, much quieter. And it's happening inside our own heads.
It's that feeling, isn't it? That constant waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the next email, the next meeting, the next difficult conversation. We're not really overwhelmed by what's happening right now. We're overwhelmed by what we imagine might happen next. Our minds are always living just one step ahead of reality. And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. We just exhaust ourselves trying to plan for and manage things that are completely out of our hands. You know, things like other people's reactions or future events we can't possibly predict. The real weight isn't the thing itself. It's the sheer mental effort of trying to anticipate it all. So, let's talk about this anxiety of anticipation. I mean, we're always told that thinking ahead is a good thing, right? Be prepared. But it can also become a kind of trap, locking our brains in this endless, exhausting loop. Your brain basically becomes this 24/7 rehearsal studio. It's constantly running drills for events that haven't even happened. You're rehearsing lines for conversations that may never take place. You're imagining 10 different ways a project could go wrong. Your mind is always on, always working on problems that don't actually exist yet. And that's why you can feel so completely drained, even when, on the surface, nothing is happening at all. Okay, so what could a Roman emperor from 2,000 years ago possibly know about our modern world of notifications and deadlines? It seems a little strange, right? But let's turn to someone who dealt with an unimaginable amount of pressure, not with apps or self-help books, but with a powerful and incredibly practical mental rule. So here's the emperor's rule. For Marcus Aurelius, dealing with all this pressure wasn't about finding some kind of blissful peace of mind. No, for him, it was about achieving functional clarity, right in the middle of all the chaos, the plagues, the wars. And he had a really interesting way of looking at it. He didn't call his problem stress or anxiety. He used a much more precise term. He called it mental interference. He saw it as a kind of internal static, like a radio that's not quite tuned in. It's just noise, generated by focusing on things you can't control, that then blocks you from clearly hearing the things you can. And this quote gets to the heart of it. Let it sink in for a second. The distress, it doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from the story we tell ourselves about the event. The thing that happens is neutral. It's our judgment, our interpretation of it, that gives it the power to hurt us. This brings us to the idea of suffering in imagined futures. Because this is really where that ancient insight crashes right into our modern lives, into all those what-if scenarios that just dominate our minds. Here's the wild part. When you sit there and you worry about, say, a presentation going badly, your brain doesn't file that away as just a maybe. Your nervous system, it kicks into gear. Your heart might start beating faster. Your breathing gets shallow. Your body is experiencing the physical stress as if it's actually happening right now. You are quite literally suffering in advance. Does any of this sound familiar? That constant, repetitive checking of your phone for a reply? The endless replaying of a slightly awkward conversation from yesterday? The mental preparation of a whole defense for a criticism that nobody has even made? See, this isn't responsible preparation. This is your mind trying to control uncertainty by rehearsing it. But the problem is, the rehearsal never, ever ends. And this, I think, is a brilliant way to put it. Your anxiety isn't there because something is actively wrong. It's there because nothing is resolved. Your brain is designed to see a problem, act on it, and then move on. It's not designed to predict endlessly. So when your mind gets stuck in that constant state of what if, your whole system just stays on high alert. The anxiety comes from that open loop itself. So how do we break the cycle? How do we close the loop? Well, Marcus Aurelius developed a very simple, very practical rule. Act, then release. That's it. That's the whole rule. It's an elegant little process for sorting your attention. Step 1, act on the one thing that's right in front of you, the thing in your direct control, right now. The email you need to write, the single task you need to finish. And then, step 2, consciously, intentionally, release your mind from all the outcomes you can't act on. Now, here's the crucial distinction. This is not about telling yourself to just stop worrying. We all know that never works. This is a functional rule, not an emotional one. It's not about trying to suppress your feelings. It's about consciously directing your attention. You're simply choosing to focus your mind, your energy, only on the task at hand. So let's bring this all home, because this isn't just some interesting idea from history. It is a direct and frankly very effective path out of that mental prison of what if? And the ultimate takeaway is this. For Marcus Aurelius, freedom from this kind of anxiety wasn't about gaining more control over life's chaotic events. He knew that was impossible. It was found in gaining more control over what he allowed his mind to dwell on. By simply refusing to mentally live in futures that were not yet actionable, he saved his clarity and his energy for the present moment. And that rule, well, that rule still works.